Do you ever feel like you're running as fast as you can, but you're not getting anywhere? It's like you're climbing this invisible staircase, working harder and harder every day. But every time you look up, the top is still out of reach. You study for hours, but you just feel stuck. This is really frustrating sometimes, and a lot of people start blaming the outside world. Some blame their bad bosses, some blame tough teachers, not enough time, and not enough money. But what if I told you the thing holding you back isn't any of these, but what is actually inside your own head? Studies show that most of the time when people feel stuck, it's because of these 5 common brain traps. This does not mean you are being lazy or you are not smart enough. They're just tricky thoughts that our brains play on us. These are simply little glitches in the way our minds think, and these thoughts form patterns without us even realizing it. And the best part is, once you can see these traps, you can learn how to beat them. So stick around, because I'm about to walk you through the 5 biggest brain traps that are keeping you stuck, and more importantly, how to escape them. If any of this is sounding familiar, come, let's dive into this together. And while at that, do me a favor by hitting that subscribe and like button. It really goes a long way in helping my channel grow. Let's dive in. The first trap is called all or nothing thinking. This is when our brain only sees 2 options, perfect or terrible. There's no in between, there's no middle ground, just straight up perfect or bad. Imagine your boss asks you to change one slide in a presentation that you worked on for a week. Instead of saying, okay, I'll fix it, your brain panics and it starts saying, this work is ruined. I am a total failure. Or as a student, you get a B plus and then starts thinking you're a failure for not getting an A. This kind of thinking makes you feel like, why am I even try if I can't be perfect? And can lead to a lot of stress. But life isn't about being perfect. Growth isn't black, neither is it white. It's in the messy gray. Next time you catch yourself thinking this way, just zoom out and ask yourself this question. What part of this was a win? Maybe your boss loved the other 10 slides. Maybe that B plus is still an improvement from your last grade. Small wins count. Perfection is not the goal here. Progress is. And progress is always messy. The second trap is called catastrophizing. It's when your brain takes a small problem and blows it up into a giant disaster. You send a work email with a typo, and suddenly you convince yourself you're going to get fired. Or you get one question wrong on a test and think your whole future is ruined. This stresses you so much that it actually makes it harder for you to think clearly, which can make you perform worse, and this leads to a vicious bad cycle. To break free of this trap, use the 5-year test. In this test, you simply ask yourself this simple question. In 5 years, will I even remember this happened? Most of the time, the answer is no. This will help you see that the problem isn't as big as it feels right now. Then, you ask yourself a follow-up question. Okay, if the worst thing did happen, what would I do next? Just having this simple plan, like I'll talk to my teacher or I'll fix the mistake, shows your brain that you can handle it. The brain sees that you have a plan, and you're not helpless. Let me ask you, have you ever assumed someone was upset with you, even though they never said a word to you? That's the next trap. A third trap is mind reading. This is when you assume in your mind that you know what another person is thinking, and you always assume it's negative. So you send a text to someone, and 3 hours later there's no reply from the person. Then immediately your brain starts whispering at you, they're mad at me, or they think I'm annoying. Or you ask a question in class and instantly think, this teacher will probably think I'm dumb. The thing is, your brain reacts as if that story is true, And you will feel rejected, anxious, and even embarrassed over something that you literally made up yourself. And most of the time, while this is happening, the other person is just busy, distracted, or dealing with their own stuff. The first step to being free is to stop and think of other reasons why the other person didn't reply. First, remember that you can't actually read minds. Then, think of at least two other, totally normal reasons for what happened. Maybe their phone died. Maybe they're in a meeting. Maybe they're just busy and haven't seen it yet. Most of the time, the reason has nothing to do with you at all. So instead of assuming the worst, just consider that they might just be busy that time. Mind reading isn't the only way your brain lies to you. Sometimes it takes one single failure and convinces you that's who you'll always be. The fourth trap is overgeneralization. It's when you have one bad experience and your brain decides that that's how it will always be with you. This trap takes one moment and stretches it into forever. Once you mess up a presentation, then you start telling yourself, I'm terrible at public speaking. You fail another quiz and think, I'm just bad at math. It rewrites your entire identity based on a single slip-up. And once you start buying that story, you will just stop trying, because what's the point in trying? This trap is a confidence killer. It convinces you that you can't succeed. To break free from this trap, look for the exceptions. Your job is to find proof that this isn't always true. Think of all the times you did well. Have you ever given a good presentation? You passed that examination that gave you a hard time, right? Find even small examples where the opposite happened. When you've collected all these evidences of your successes, you start to show your brain that one bad moment doesn't define you. You're not always anything. You're a mix of good and bad, just like everyone else. And that brings us to the final trap. This trap makes you carry weight that was never yours to begin with. The fifth and final trap is personalization. This is when you blame yourself for things that aren't your fault. A team project goes wrong, and your first thing that comes to your mind is, this is all my fault. You completely ignore other problems, like that teammate that didn't help at all through the project, or just plain bad luck. This trap makes you feel guilty for things you can't control, which makes this trap really exhausting and can lead to burnout. You can break free from this trap by using a pie chart. Imagine a pie that represents the whole problem. Now, start slicing it up. Give a piece to every single thing that contributed. Give a slice for bad timing. Then, slice for another person's mistake. Also, give a slice for just bad luck. Then, look at the slice that represents what you actually controlled. You'll probably notice that your slice is much smaller than you thought. This game helps you see the bigger picture and stops you from carrying all the blame yourself for things that happened out of your control. If you've been caught in one of these traps before, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps this video find other people who need to hear this. And even better, drop a comment and tell me which trap gets you the most. So now you know the 5 biggest brain traps. But remember, knowing them is only half the battle. The real change happens when you take action. So here's your challenge. This week, pick the trap that you fall into the most. Commit yourself to using its break-free move. Every time you notice that thought, always choose to challenge it so that you can take back control. Those small victories build on each other. These lead to more confidence and that incredible feeling of finally getting unstuck. Remember, you've always had the drive. Now you have the tools in your hands to think smarter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.